In this video, we jump on board the world champion as they crash into the pit lane, and we have a moan as we look at the tracks that have never been used by Gran Turismo. Hello everyone and welcome back to a Gran Turismo video. You can see here we are in Daily Race C once again, but we're in the Genesis this time, not the Megane trophy that I used in the weekly race guide. If you do enjoy this video, make sure you do give it a like and do subscribe to the channel. We're going to have a bit of a moan in this one as well, as you can guess by the thumbnail and title potentially. Because has Gran Turismo, Polyphony Digital, just given up caring? So that's what it feels like lately. Now in this particular race, we're going to do 2 races of this. We're going to try the change tyre strategy as well, for those that are interested in that, because I do this on a Tuesday. I do explore different strategies. Up ahead though, unfortunately Bree there gets nudged off by Kevin as we go through that left-hander, but we do get a place from it, so happy days indeed. But we're going to have to deal with Kevin as we go into the left-hander here, and we are going to jump into more of the subject as we go through this race, as well as at the end of this video and talking about it in a bit more detail and giving you a bit more information as well. But we're alongside Kevin at the moment. Let's go to chase cam to see exactly what's going on here. I was worried I was getting pushed out there, but it's the perfect amount of space given to me by Kevin there as we go through the right-hander. But unfortunately here, we just get nudged out of the circuit. They see my reaction there, just shaking her head. Nicholas goes on the inside of Kevin. We're going to try and maximize this turn by getting on the inside of Kevin as well. We go for a bit of a bump draft here on Nicholas, nearly actually pit maneuvering them, to be fair. But we managed to get by Kevin there just, and Bree's having a bit of a go as well as we go into the left-hander. So we finally get that position, and we're looking to break away here. Now the Genesis is going to use a bit more of its tyres in this race just because of the drivetrain, it being all-wheel drive. But you see up ahead actually quite a few people coming in the pits, and the NSX, you know, is an alright car. It has been in the past, and we'll see how it gets on in this race. Now we jump on board the world champion here, Hazzetti, as we head towards the right-hander then, and we saw a couple of people with penalties. But as we see here, Hazzetti goes into the pit then in the Viper, but don't feel so bad if you get this wrong, because the world champion just got it wrong there as well. We jump back on board me at the end of lap 3, going on to lap number 4 then, and we catch up to Muscafi and I can't even say that. Erin, we're just going to call you Erin here. Now, they've just slowed each other up massively, so I'm going to try around the outside of Muscafi as we go into the right-hander. Nearly made it 3 wide. Not going to quite work here then as we continue on through. I'm looking around the outside. Not really a place for me to go there. So, unfortunately, I don't gain both places at the moment as we go through the left-hander. Then side by side with Muscafi, I give just enough space there on the curb as we jump on board Muscafi then. And we've got Bree looking to get involved here as well. Unfortunately, Muscafi goes a bit too deep, goes out wide, and goes for a bit of a spin there. That's unfortunate for Muscafi. Right, jumping back on board myself then. Here we have Bree looking to catch up to me now. Does Bree go for a bump draft? Yes, indeed. Not going for the move then. Trying to maximize the race pace. And that is something you're going to have to do this week, really, in this race, is work out who you can fight and who you can't fight, and where you should fight and where you shouldn't, because you may not necessarily need to fight somebody who's already pit, who's catching up behind you. You might want to get out of the way early, allow them to carry on, and then you don't lose that much race time. It may be a case that you're getting towards the end of the race and you do need to fight. And you have to work this out as you go. You really do. It's an interesting race, this one. I do like it, but it's a bit frustrating as well, and I'll get onto that shortly. Heading towards the end of lap number 4 here. Just get on the inside of the Megane trophy up ahead. But at this point in time, I decide, nope, I'm going to come in the pits at this time because I'm going to lose too much time fighting. And again, the whole point of this race is not to lose too much time. So come in. I'm actually going to change my tyres as well. It's a bit early to change tyres, but I do think lap 4 is probably the minimum. And something I haven't considered in this race with changing tyres is going to happen to me in this one. So we're going to go into turn 1 and continue on. You can see that we've lost about 3 seconds to everybody else, which is standard there. Now, the issue I have is that the tyres take quite a time to warm up, or at least feel like they get some grip. And it actually took a few laps. Hodgson there getting a penalty through the right-hander. Very easy to do that, actually. And, yeah, quite a common thing to happen as we go super Formula. Look at I can hear the Formula 1 noise there from the fast forward. That was quite funny. In towards the right we go, and we're right behind Hodgson now. So, obviously, we've got fresh tyres, so we're going to be all over the back of everybody very quickly. Now, I don't actually want to waste time overtaking Hodgson. Let me explain here. If I go for a complete dive here, I'm going to lose a lot of time. Now, I'm going to lose a little bit of time behind Hodgson, but I don't really want to go for some crazy move. If I get by, I get by. If I don't, I'm just going to sit here and wait. And the reason for that is I'm trying to maximize my race time in the end. That 0.5 second penalty is going to be handled at the end of this particular lap. So as long as I'm within fighting of Hodgson, within that half second gap, I'm going to get the position all the same. Now, we're 20 seconds behind the leader. Remember, you have to be 7.5 seconds behind the leader to really have a chance of winning this race. So that's quite out the grabs, but I expected that with the tyre change. But it did give me some information that it does take some time for those tyres to warm up, and they're only just getting to the point now where they are raceable, I would say. We're through that right-hander then, and we're going to get the inside of Hudson, but I back out of it. And again, this is to save time. Going side by side up here, there's no real winners there. You do lose a lot of time, so I was like, no, I'll back out of this. Hudson's about to take the penalty anyway. Yes, okay, I've lost probably half a second going round behind Hudson here, but arguably I would have lost that even more than that trying to go for the move. So we advance a bit further on here then, and we've caught up to the Dutch driver Erin then as we head in towards turn number 1. And we've also got Paulo up ahead, who's in the Genesis as well. So the Genesis, I think, struggles with tyres, which is why we're also going to test the no tyre change, because Paulo's really been coming back, really dropping off here on the last few laps, whereas obviously my tyres are up to pace now. Very hot front left tyre. Look at that, 90 plus degrees there. And I do think that 90-degree temperature is critical with tyre wear. Now, we'll get onto that in a separate video about tyre wear, tyre temps and all that jazz. But even so, we're on the inside of Erin at the moment. Erin gets a better exit here, and that McGann Trophy is a good car here. It really is. It's a good race car. The G70 looking more like the time trial car, the car to go to if you want the fastest lap, with the McGann Trophy looking like the race car to choose if you really don't want to worry about your tyres that little bit too much. Even so, we're stuck here at the moment behind the Dutch drivers up ahead, and we'll see what we can do going forward. But as I say, with Gran Turismo at the moment, I do feel like they're giving up caring, because what did we do last week? We did Brands Hatch. Yes, it was the Indy rather than the Grand Prix circuit we're doing right now in Group 4. Pretty much the exact same combo, if I'm brutally honest with you. Yes, we've added, what, 4 or 5 corners? But it doesn't seem to be a drastic change. And there are plenty of tracks we haven't used out there. There are plenty of cars we haven't used out there. And yet we're doing basically the same combo again. You know, you have to pit. You've got to pit at Brands Hatch. Doesn't seem like they care that much, if I'm brutally honest with you. Now, we finished this race. I didn't even see where that was, actually. What's that? P11, 10? Somewhere around there. What's that? 8, 9, 10, 11. There we go. I can count, apparently. Although some members of TCR may say otherwise. Right, we've jumped to the next race, and we're not going to change our tyres in this one then. We're going to see how the Genesis handles that. Well, I get back to my point here. It feels like they don't care. We've done Brands Hatch last week. We're at Brands Hatch again this week. We did Group 4 Brands Hatch last week, and we're doing Group 4 Brands Hatch this week. Now, Britty up ahead goes for that inside move on Luna then, and we're going to try and get on the inside of them as we head towards Druids then. Hard on the brakes. In we go. Do we get it stopped? Yes, we do. And Nicholas as well, trying to follow suit there. In fact, does in the NSX. Brilliant job there. Naif up ahead, Laporte in the NSX as well. So obviously seeing something in that car that potentially brings it to the forefront in the race. We'll have to see. I think Nicholas actually got a really fast lap behind me in the previous race as well. So we continue on through here then and carry on further into this lap then. So at the end of lap number 1, of course, when I'm not changing tyres, it's my usual lap. However, everybody goes in up ahead. Bree changes their mind, which is interesting. But watch this, folks. Now, I try and get into the pit lane a little bit quicker than the car ahead, because I do feel there's something in the game where if you come in the pit lane a little bit quicker, you'll exit a bit quicker. Here's the proof. Because look at this, I'm inside Kevin right now. I was behind him before. Now I'm ahead because of the ghosting system. I gained a place in the pits. Happy days indeed. Well, arguably, you could consider it. I mean, it's not my fault the game does it, but arguably it's cheating in the pits again. Similar to the short that's been going viral lately on the channel as we continue into the left-hander. So we gained a place there from getting into the pit lane that little bit quicker. Just keep that in mind when you're going into there. And we got a bit drifty here there, and we do manage to catch it, and you can see my face there, really happy. And then it changes when I get that penalty. A 0.5 second penalty for that. Now, I decided to go back and have a look at this because I don't think this is deserving of a track limit penalty. As you can see there, I'm on the red and white curbing. Now, some of you are going to go, Tidge, you're facing as if you're going off. So here is this in slow-mo, just to prove a point when I look at these. I stay on that red and white curbing throughout the entire corner. So it definitely wasn't a penalty in my book. Now, I'm going to take that penalty now on lap number 4 then. Luna up ahead is going to go into the pits, which leaves a whole load of fresh air here to try and catch up to Laporte in an NSX. Or Nicholas behind is going to catch me up, as you can see right there. So lap number 5, that Honda NSX is definitely coming into its own now as we continue through the right-hander here. The front left here burning up from those tyre temps. it's really critical, the tyre temps. That 90 degree seems to be the critical area. And Nicholas going to go for the move down the inside then. Jump back on board chase cam here. Is Nicholas going to get this done? Beautiful effort there. Gives me just enough space down the exit. In fact, plenty of space when the corner did finish there as we go to the right-hander. Now, I wasn't going to fight this too much, and I said this earlier on. You need to think about your battles in this one. You really do. So I knew Nicholas was catching me there. You can see the fastest lap there, 28.9. So at that point, it's a case of, I'm not giving it up, but, you know, if you get on the inside, I'm not going to defend it. And that's why I didn't actually defend it there. I just thought, I'll let Nicholas go. If he's going to go for it, he goes for it. If it doesn't, it doesn't. You know, I'm not going to lose that much time here as we continue on through. Arguably, maybe I should have given it up a bit earlier or a bit easier, maybe. There is an argument there for that. Anyway, we advance a bit further on here. We've got Brown Banana up ahead, who's going to head into the pits. My goal now is to stay with Nicholas, or at least try to stay with Nicholas. We're actually going to jump on board Nicholas now. Lap number 9 at this one then. And I've dropped off a little bit here, but as we go into turn number 1, Nicholas is going to clip the inside here, go for a bit of an oversteer moment, and straight into the gravel at Paddock Hill Bend. Very common mistake there. And you can see how far behind I actually was as I go through. And we'll have a look at the reason for that shortly. But you can see here, Nicholas has recovered then, so not lost too much, one position only. But unfortunately, with dirt on the tyres, the car gets very slippy, and Nicholas goes for another spin. And unfortunately for them, 3 more cars go on by. There's one Bolt, shout out to you. Go to lap number 11. Look at my tyre wear. My front left is destroyed due to those tyre temperatures. It really has been nuked in this one. But we did come on with P6. We really did come on P6. So I highly recommend you don't change your tyres on this one. Arguably, the Genesis, it's a much harder race to do that. But you have to warm up your tyres, and that takes 2 or 3 laps as well. So, yeah, it's an interesting one to say the least. I would prefer the Renault Megane Trophy, and if I do this race again this week, that's the car I'm going to pick. Now I'm going to get into my Moni stage. Now, I wasn't sure whether to show my face for this or not show my face. So let me know if I ever do any of these, whether you just want to see my face, talk about it, so you've got some weird interaction there. I don't know. It's an ugly mug. I'm not sure you want to see it. Even so, does GT and PD care, or have they given up caring? Because I feel they've given up caring. I've just talked about it in the race, and after this race as well, I'm going to talk about it a bit more. We did Brands Hatch last week and this week, Group 4 last week, this week. Yep, Brands Hatch. It's basically the same combo with an extra 5 corners. That is it. But then look at Daily Race B. It's Bathurst. Guess what we did this month already? Bathurst, Group 3. It's the exact same race. Why are we doing the exact same race again? It's extremely frustrating. It really is. You know, the fact we're doing the same combos over and over and over again. And these two, Brands Hatch Group 4 and Bathurst Group 3, are some of the most common combos that we ever have and have had in Gran Turismo 7. There are loads of tracks we haven't used. I've got some on screen right now for you, or hopefully I do anyway. A list of some tracks that we should use, we should try and see what they're like, you know. Give us a daily race there. Let us experience these tracks. Yes, the participation rate might not be as good. That's because people have never tried them. Maybe they'll try them and we don't like it. And then you go, fair enough. You know, we won't put that on anymore. Or maybe we try them and then people talk to their friends and they go, oh, yeah, next time that's on, we'll give it a go. There's loads of tracks we haven't used. There's loads of cars we've not used. You know, you think about all the cars that get added. And we have patches every single month, really. Obviously, last month we didn't. This month, I don't think we're getting a patch either. But all these cars get added. We can use maybe 1 or 2 in time trials, and that is it. We do not race these other cars. Daily Race A and B are the perfect times to try these cars. I was watching the Grand Tour the other day. The Sierra RS Cosworth was on there. I was like, we haven't raced that car in ages. That'd be a good fun car to race. You know, have an old school DTM race. You know, PD handpicks the cars and then we get to try these cars. Maybe they can put a custom bop in there so we can have an interesting race at Road Atlanta or wherever it may be. Or a track we've not used yet, you know, using these cars. Some of the Blue Moon Bay Speedway infields. Using old DTM cars. That'd be kind of cool, you know. It is a bit frustrating. There's other ways to make the dailies fun, by the way. You can set the fuel level. You can do that in the game. I did this in GT Sport loads, where we were, you know, trying to make dailies more fun. So setting the fuel level to 20%. Then maybe some people will go to extreme fuel saving and not pit, while others will pit, get a bit more fuel, and then try and catch up to them. It is kind of fun, and we did do those kind of races in GT Sports, and it is good fun to try. However, that seems to have gone off the radar completely. Like, quite literally off the radar. We've not seen that in a while. Can we have that back? And maybe some of the endurance races. We were doing them once a month. They've gone off the radar as well. There's loads of ways to make dailies fun. And I feel like Gran Turismo, like, in the past, they'd just do the same sort of combos, but at least they were different. Now we're just doing the same combos. It's like they've given up. And I feel like they've given up. Sorry for the bit of moan, but I feel like that needs to get out there. What are your thoughts on this? Do you feel like they're giving up? Do you care any more about daily racing? It feels like it really is going downhill more than ever right now. If you have enjoyed this video, as always, do get a like and do subscribe to the channel. Stay in touch with all the latest content. Two videos there to check out, including the weekly race guide, partners to check out in the description, and my logos there to subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, as always, and I hope to see you in another video or live stream again very soon.